Welcome back to my page. It's your girl Marceline here, and in today's video I'm gonna be making one of my all-time favorite candy because of its firm texture. It's called busta, or as some people call it, Stagga. To make this candy, these are some simple ingredients that you probably already have in your home. I have here this dry coconut, we have some molasses, and we're gonna need some brown sugar. If you have the dark brown sugar, would prefer to use that one because it will give your candy a darker and richer color, but I only had the light brown sugar. And also you will need some ginger. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is bust open my coconut. I'm going to pour out the coconut water so that it doesn't go to waste. Sometimes if I'm lucky it will be good and tasty, but most of the time it's not so good. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead, and I have two coconut, and I'm gonna open both of them because whenever I buy coconut here in the States, most of the time if I buy four coconut, two out of the four is not good. However, both of them were good except one was drier and the other one had like a greener texture, so I went with the dry one, the extra dry one, and put the other one aside for some rice and peas. So now it's time to grate the coconut. I only need like 1 cup because I'm not making a lot, and I'm gonna go ahead and grate that 1 cup and then add my brown sugar to the pot. I'm also gonna add 1/3 cup of molasses, and for my ginger I already grated off camera. I'm gonna add about 3 tablespoons of ginger. If you want it to be more of a ginger flavor you can add more, but 3 tablespoons is good enough for this amount that I am making. I'm also gonna add some extra flavor in there, so I'm gonna add about half teaspoon of cinnamon powder and half teaspoon of nutmeg and just a teaspoon of vanilla. That's just added flavor, you don't necessarily have to add it if you don't want to. Alright, so I'm gonna allow this to caramelize in the pot. While the pot is heating up, the sugar is melting, and we're gonna allow it to come to a boil. So I start off on really low heat. We don't want the sugar to burn, that will only make your candy bitter. So I start off on low heat and I give this a little simmer for about a minute, and then I pump up the heat to medium. And while it's on medium heat it starts to boil. We're gonna continue boil it for about 2 minutes, and then I add my coconut. Alright, and I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze about a 1/4 teaspoon of lime juice in there. If you don't have any lime juice and you have cream of tartar in your cupboard, you can add just a pinch of cream of tartar in there. They both give it the same effect. The acidic from both of them works just the same way, so whichever one you have, go ahead and use it. As you can see now, it's starting to caramelize in the bottom of the pot. You want to go ahead and pour it over on your parchment paper. We need to shape this now so that we can slice it up in little squares when we're done. So we're going to shape it either in a rectangle or a square, it doesn't matter. We're going to shape it out so that we can get little squares from it when we're done. So I use a softer spatula to smooth off the top, and as soon as it starts to dry I go ahead and I add a piece of parchment paper on top to finish shaping it and to make sure that the top is extra smooth. After smoothing off the top, I'm going to remove the parchment paper and allow it to dry. It doesn't take long to get hard. After about 20 minutes you will realize that your candy is becoming very hard. Alright, and then we're going to go ahead and cut it up. So I cut them in strips. My shoulder was in the way of the camera, so I had to delete those parts, but I cut them up in strips and then I cut them in small squares, and that's basically it. So after slicing them up, you can just put them in a jar and have them whenever you're ready to eat them, but we're gonna wrap them in parchment paper. This is what they look like. As you can see, it's not black, it doesn't have that extra black color because I use a light brown sugar. So if you wanted to have that authentic dark look, you can use the extra dark sugar to give it a darker color, because when the sugar caramelizes it will get darker. So this is how they're sold in little pieces of papers wrapped tightly. So I'm just going to go ahead and wrap all of them, and I'm going to place them in a bowl so that I can just grab one whenever I'm ready to eat. And remember, this is a lot of sugar. Yes, it's a lot of sugar. It's candy, and candy is sweet. which is expected, but you can eat it in moderation. Alright, control yourself, guys. Even if it's your favorite candy, you can go ahead and eat in moderation. So thank you all so much for watching my video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, please. I would really appreciate that. Or you can share it with your friends and family. Also, let me know in the comment section, what do you call this? Do you call it busmajaw or do you call it staggerback? I know in different parishes we have different names for stuff, so let me know. Alright, enjoy the rest of your weekend and I'll see you in my next one.